let's cut some bangs, or let's trim some bangs, okay? Now, this is the perfect example because look, they're lopsided and wonky and cuckoo mungo, okay? This is how we cut bangs. You need to wet it down. So best to do this when your kiddo's out of the bath or the shower. Oh, she's a little bit wet. All right. So this is how we're gonna section the bangs. We're gonna create a V or a horseshoe depending on your kid's face shape and depending on where their recession line is where that hair wants to grow back. And you will see, you'll take the section and be like, ooh, I like it, or ooh, that looks awful. So take your child's natural part, where their hair wants to part. Don't make a new part line, okay? If you try to do a new part line and then cut bangs, that hair is gonna wanna flip flop. We wanna make it easy. Go with what the hair wants to do. Don't fight with the hair. Okay, so we're gonna section this out. And then I'm going to have another look. So we're taking the one point at the top and I've sectioned it down to where that recession hairline is, and I'm gonna do the same to the other side or wherever it is working and falling well for your kiddo's hair. And if they already have it all good, then you're all good. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Let's bring the hair up straight. Okay. So this part line is a little bit to the left, so it's a little bit heavier on that right side because the hair is traveling and we have more on the opposite side. Okay, this is how we're gonna start. I'm going to section the hair out a little bit because we're gonna add it back in after, so we're just parting it a little bit. Okay. And we're gonna take this middle section and we're gonna start with trimming exactly where we want that hair to start, and then we're gonna do the same thing with our cut. We're gonna go to the left and then to the right, okay? So taking that little section in between our two fingers, we're not elevating it up, we're keeping it straight on the hair. My fingers, you wanna touch touch their face, and don't let your fingers come off of it. That's how you know you're gonna have zero elevation. So we're gonna pinch it, and I like to point cut. So I like to do little diagonal trims as opposed to a blunt straight across cut. Okay. Now there's our guide. We're gonna add a little bit more hair to it and pull it forward and do that same thing. Keep the elevation down, and we're gonna trim straight across. And we're going little bit by little bit by little bit, okay? Because when you dry the hair, it's going to bounce up. Start long. Let's not scar our children. Now we're gonna incorporate the rest of it, and you can see your guideline underneath, meaning where that beginning cut is, and we're using that to trace on top of the hair and using that to cut. We're not going past that line. We might even go a little bit longer than that line. So again, I'm gonna pull it forward, pinch with my two fingers, and you can see that guideline underneath, and I'm gonna do little angle cuts. Okay, now we're gonna connect to the side and the other side. So pull this down, 0 elevation. And straight across. We've got a little stragglers. Pick those guys up, same thing. Snippy, 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 snip. And now onto this side. Pulling it down. Continuing that line all the way across. And now you need to measure it, make sure it's even. And the way I do this is everybody has a different type of bounce or a cowlick or anything like that. So as we're pulling it down, we don't want to have too much tension. We're just kind of guiding that hair down. And then I kind of pick it up and see where it wants to fall. So to me, this eye is a little bit longer than this one. So I'm just going to go in a little bit more on that one side. Pull it down and just taking off that little bit extra. And that looks pretty good to me. And that is how we're gonna trim the bangs. You can blow dry them, let them air dry, and then you can have another look because you might see that it didn't bounce up enough, and you're gonna do that same sectioning, take some of the hair off the side, start a little bit in the middle, work our way out, add the more hair, work our way out, right? That's what we're doing. Now, if the fringe, the bangs are super heavy, meaning really, really blunt, where it's too strong, like it's a block, and we want to soften that, I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm just going to blow dry her.